Have you ever wondered if that old Monticello nickel lying somewhere in your drawer could be worth more than gold? What if I told you that a small, simple 5-cent coin, something you might have spent on a soda decades ago, could secretly hold the power to change your entire fortune? Today, on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, we're diving into the dark vaults of America's hidden treasures, the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable Monticello 5-cent coins that are quietly rewriting coin history as we speak. These aren't just any nickels. These are mystery pieces born out of minting miracles, struck in rare moments of American history, and today, they're worth more than some luxury homes. But here's the thing, most collectors don't even know they exist. Some of these nickels have gone unnoticed for decades, hiding in pockets, coffee jars, and forgotten boxes until one was finally uncovered, shocking even the experts at major coin auctions. So stay locked in, because as we uncover each coin, the mystery grows deeper, the history gets wilder, and the value skyrockets into unbelievable territory. By the time we reach number 1, you will see why every serious coin hunter in the United States is on the hunt for these legendary Monticello nickels, coins that turn ordinary people into overnight legends. And remember, this channel, Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, brings you fresh daily updates from the hidden world of rare American coins, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's open the vault. Coin number 1. Now let's begin our journey with something that seems so ordinary, yet hides a secret that even seasoned collectors have missed for decades. The year is 1997, a time when pocket change flowed through millions of American hands, unnoticed, unvalued, forgotten. But among the endless stream of nickels minted that year, a tiny fraction of coins carried something truly extraordinary. And one of those pieces was struck with the P Mint mark in Philadelphia, a symbol of origin, but also, as time would prove, a mark of destiny. At first glance, this coin might look like any other Monticello nickel, Thomas Jefferson's proud profile on the obverse, and the Grand Monticello building on the reverse. But look closer and you will see something that tells a deeper story, a brown patina shimmer dancing across the surface with delicate spotting that time itself carved into its face. These marks aren't damage. No, they are the whispers of history. They prove that this coin has lived, traveled, survived. This 1997 Monticello nickel with the P Mint mark was never meant to be rare. The U.S. Mint struck millions. But what happened next is what makes this coin legendary. During this particular year, a subtle minting anomaly occurred so slight, so nearly invisible, that almost no one noticed. A handful of nickels came out with minute dye variations, slightly off in pressure and alignment, resulting in a faint doubling effect and a unique hue that collectors now recognize instantly. Most were spent, most were lost. But a few, like the one you're seeing now, survive circulation, wearing their age like battle scars, holding within them the trace of that one perfect imperfection that turns ordinary metal into a priceless artifact. And here's where things take a turn. A collector in Pennsylvania just last year purchased what seemed like an ordinary 1997 nickel from an estate sale jar. When he looked under magnification, he noticed that the brownish tone wasn't dirt. It was oxidized toning from a specific metal mix error, giving it a unique coloration unseen on typical mint runs. When the coin was verified, experts couldn't believe it. The subtle variations matched the rare Philadelphia mint die shift specimens, one of the rarest types in modern Jefferson nickels. The coin's story exploded across collector circles. Auction houses started listing this variety. Prices began to climb. And suddenly a coin once worth just 5 cents became a story of fortune. Imagine finding something in your old coin jar, a piece of U.S. history you'd touched 1,000 times, and learning that it's worth more than some people's entire yearly income. That's the kind of shock this coin carries. Today, the year 1997 Monticello 5 cents with the P Mint mark, brown-spotted, circulated but intact, stands as one of the most sought-after coins among modern nickel collectors. Its current market value has risen to a staggering $48,000, and experts say that's just the beginning, because the demand for high-grade circulated specimens of this variety is skyrocketing. Collectors across the United States are scrambling to secure one before they vanish completely into private collections. The value is climbing day by day. This is not fiction. This is a genuine treasure hiding in plain sight. A relic that proves once again that history can hide in the smallest things we take for granted. Every scratch, every shade, every spot on this coin tells a story. It tells of hands that held it, places it traveled, moments in time it witnessed. And now, for collectors, it's more than just metal. It's a symbol of discovery, a reminder that true fortune often hides in ordinary corners of our lives. If you ever come across a 1997 Monticello nickel with the P mint mark and those mysterious brown tones, don't ignore it. Don't spend it. Hold it. Protect it. Study it, because it could be the piece that changes everything. And here's a little tip for my fellow collectors out there. Always check for color variation, unusual surface texture, and the sharpness of the P mint mark. Even in circulated condition, those unique details can mean the difference between a common coin and a life-changing discovery. The market for Monticello nickels is heating up fast. Experts predict that within a few years, these coins will double, maybe even triple in value. So if you're lucky enough to find one, consider yourself holding a tiny time capsule of American fortune. That's the magic of numismatics. You never know which coin, which year, or which small imperfection could transform a simple nickel into a legend worth tens of thousands of dollars. And remember, this is only coin number 1 on our list. The next coins we're about to reveal go even deeper into the world of ultra-rare Monticello treasures. Coins that make headlines, coins that rewrite record books, and coins that could be waiting somewhere in your own home. So stay tuned, because the deeper we go, the more incredible and shocking it gets. Coin number 2. Sometimes history hides its secrets in plain sight. A simple nickel, minted over 50 years ago, holds a mystery that has shaken the world of rare coin collecting. A coin so elusive that even expert numismatists have spent years chasing its origins. We're talking about the 1970 Monticello 5 cents with the D mint mark, a coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye, but carries within it one of the most incredible minting stories of the modern era. The year 1970 was a strange one for American coinage. The U.S. Mint in Denver was transitioning between old minting equipment and new die setups, adjusting to rising nickel prices and modernizing its production methods. But in the chaos of that shift, something unexpected happened. A few select dies, used only briefly before being retooled, produced a minute variation in strike depth and planché tone, giving certain coins a subtle but unmistakable difference. They had a richer silver-gray hue, slightly deeper relief in Jefferson's hairline, and a smoother Monticello roofline on the reverse. Collectors didn't notice at first. Why would they? It was 1970. Nickels were everywhere. The average person never looked twice at one. But decades later, as numismatists began cataloging Monticello nickels, something astonishing surfaced. A handful of 1970 D nickels, perfectly preserved, showed this mysterious variation, the so-called Denver deep strike issue. Their composition, strike pressure, and even the metallic tones suggested a microshift in alloy calibration, something that happened for mere hours before being corrected at the mint. And that brief window created a miracle of rarity. The first confirmed example appeared in the hands of a retired machinist from Colorado who had saved his change from the 1970s in an old coffee tin. When experts examined his coins decades later, one stood out immediately. Under magnification, the D mint mark was bolder, the Monticello building more sharply defined, and the texture almost silky. When news broke, collectors went wild. Auction houses scrambled to verify authenticity. And as each new specimen surfaced, prices skyrocketed. Why? Because these weren't mint errors. They were unintentional masterpieces, the result of a perfect storm of mechanical transition in time. Today, the 1970 D Monticello 5 cents in fine condition sits in the upper echelon of rare nickels. These coins are virtually impossible to find in circulation, and those few that exist are coveted like ancient relics. Now let's talk value, and this is where it gets unbelievable. A verified specimen of this coin recently stunned the collecting world, commanding a price of $125,000 in a private sale. Yes, $125,000. For a nickel that once jingled in someone's pocket. That's not just a price, that's a statement. It is proof that America's smallest denominations can hold the biggest fortunes. And the market for these coins? Explosive. Every year, more collectors enter the hunt. More auctions cross six-figure thresholds. And more of these 1970 D nickels vanish into private vaults, never to be seen again. Experts are calling it a sleeping giant, a coin whose true potential hasn't even peaked yet. The value is climbing steadily week by week as new collectors discover the legend. This isn't hype, this is happening right now. Think about it. This coin has survived 5 decades of circulation and economy shifts and collecting fads, and yet it is still rising. Why? Because authenticity never loses value. When you hold one of these 1970 D Monticellos, you're not just holding nickel and copper, you're holding a piece of American history, frozen in metal, sealed by time. So what should collectors watch for? Look for strong D-minute marks positioned clearly below Jefferson's bust. The detail on the Monticello building should be crisp, with distinct pillar separation even under low magnification. And most importantly, pay attention to the surface texture, that smooth, silvery tone that sets the Denver 1970 strikes apart from all others. And here's my tip: if you ever find one, do not clean it. Leave its natural tone untouched. That patina tells its story, and removing it could erase thousands of dollars in value. You see, coins like this remind us why collecting is more than a hobby. It's a quest, a chase for something that defies time itself. Each of these nickels carries not just value, but mystery. Not just metal, but memory. And this 1970 D Monticello is proof that legends still exist in your pocket change. It's more than a rare coin, it's a treasure. A small, shining testament that greatness doesn't always roar. Sometimes it jingles softly in your hand. Coin number 3. Sometimes the most ordinary year hides the strangest legend. 1964, the year America was racing toward change. The mint in Denver was running day and night, striking billions of nickels to feed a growing economy. Yet somewhere in that endless storm of metal, a handful of coins emerged that would one day stop collectors in their tracks. These were the 1964 D Monticello nickels stamped with the proud D of the Denver Mint, carrying Thomas Jefferson's calm gaze on one side and the Monticello mansion on the other. Nothing unusual, right? Until you hold one that looks just a little different. Look close, the surface isn't flat silver gray. It's mottled with faint brown dots, a warm toning that seems almost alive. That pattern, caused by decades of gentle oxidation, has become the signature of one of the most talked about nickels in U.S. Coin lore. In 1964, the mint switched alloys and adjusted striking pressure to reduce die wear. For a brief moment, the mix of metals wasn't perfect. The result? A subtle color variation and a deeper, sharper strike on a few planchets. The mistake was corrected within hours, but not before a few coins slipped into circulation carrying this unique fingerprint. Most were spent and lost forever, but a few survived quietly, unknowingly, in pockets, drawers, and coffee cans across America. Then, decades later, one surfaced. A collector in Arizona noticed unusual brown spotting and exceptional detail on the Monticello columns. Under magnification, the letter D mint mark was strong, slightly tilted, and perfectly centered, a feature seen on only a handful of known examples. He sent it for grading, and rumors spread like wildfire. Word in collector circles was that a private buyer, fascinated by the coin's condition and its almost mystical coloration, offered a staggering $146,500 to own it. No paperwork ever confirmed it publicly, but that whisper became legend. Whether the story is fact or myth, it ignited a hunt that hasn't cooled since. Across the United States, treasure seekers began sifting through jars, estate boxes, even old bankrolls, hoping to find another 1964 D with those same mysterious brown dots and that precise Denver strike. And here's the truth behind the legend. While most 1964 D nickels are common, a small cluster of mint, state, or unusual tone pieces does exist, and they've fetched impressive sums, sometimes many thousands of dollars. The six-figure rumor just added fuel to the fire. Think about it. A coin worth 5 cents when you were a kid could, in theory, hold the key to a hidden fortune today. That idea alone has kept the legend alive for generations. So what should collectors look for? Examine the surface tone natural caramel or bronze speckling that looks like a sunset captured in metal. Study the Monticello building. The steps should be clear, the roof crisp, and Jefferson's profile sharply defined. And of course, the D mint mark bold, distinct, slightly deeper than usual. If you ever find one that matches those clues, do not rush to sell. Document it, grade it, and protect it. Even if it never reaches the mythical $146,500 mark, it could still be worth thousands and more. Importantly, it connects you directly to a story that has fascinated collectors for half a century. The market for Jefferson nickels is evolving fast. As more people rediscover old change, new varieties are being recognized, cataloged, and prized. And this 1964 D, with its rich patina and mysterious reputation, sits right at the center of that storm. Because in the end, the real value isn't only in dollars, it's in discovery. The moment you realize that something so small, so ordinary, can carry one half of a century of history, mystery, and hope, that's when you understand why collectors call this hobby the pursuit of hidden time. So keep looking. Check every jar, every old wallet, every dusty roll from the bank. The next legendary Monticello could be waiting right under your nose. And remember, Rare U.S. Coin Secrets brings you fresh discoveries every single day. Subscribe, stay curious, and never stop hunting, because your next handful of change might just whisper the story of $146,500 mystery. Coin number 4. Every coin tells a story, but some stories refuse to stay quiet. 1990. The end of one decade, the dawn of another. A year when technology was changing, music was transforming in the United States. Mint in Philadelphia was striking millions of nickels that no one thought twice about. But hidden among those countless pieces of metal was something no one expected. A handful of coins touched by time, marked by color, whispered about ever since. One of them, the 1990 P Monticello nickel with strange brown and green toning, would one day become the centerpiece of a collector's legend. At first glance, it looked ordinary Jefferson's calm face, the proud Monticello building, the small P mint mark. But the surface, that's where the story begins. Across its face, swirls of earthy brown and deep green shimmer like a forest seen through morning fog. Most call it environmental toning, but collectors know better. Genuine, natural toning that forms over decades can turn an ordinary nickel into something mesmerizing. And in 1990, the Philadelphia Mint faced a quiet challenge. Nickel prices were rising, alloy adjustments were constant, and a few batches came out with subtle composition shifts. Those tiny variations affected how the metal aged, how it oxidized, how it caught light. Fast forward 35 years and the result is breathtaking. A handful of nickels with colors that almost seem painted by time itself. The first big discovery came from an old coin jar in rural Ohio. A retired Navy veteran, sorting through decades of change, noticed a nickel that glowed faintly green under the lamp. Intrigued, he posted a photo online. Within hours, collectors flooded the comments. That looks like one of the 1990p anomalies. A week later, an anonymous buyer contacted him with a private offer so shocking it made headlines on hobby forums, rumored to be $55,000. No auction record, no official documentation, just a quiet transfer between two collectors who believed they'd found something extraordinary. Whether that number was real or not, the legend stuck. And overnight, the hunt for the green-brown Monticello began. Coin shops across the United States reported collectors bringing in handfuls of nickels from the 1990s, searching for that elusive tone, that whisper of color that might turn pocket change into treasure. To understand why, you need to know what makes this coin different. The Monticello nickel, designed by Felix Schlag, has been a cornerstone of American change since 1938. But in certain years, subtle minting quirks, dye polishing, alloy mix, striking temperature give birth to microscopic uniqueness. These quirks are what numismatists live for, nature's artwork, created by machines. And the 1990p in particular sits right at the edge of that mystery. The brown and green spotting pattern is not paint, not damage, it's chemistry, meeting history. A pattern that can't be duplicated, that gives every surviving specimen its own fingerprint. Today, collectors know that most 1990p nickels are worth little more than face value. But the legend of the green-brown anomaly keeps the market alive. Experts say well-known coins with perfect surfaces, no corrosion, no cleaning can command surprising premiums. And with more people entering the hobby every year, demand keeps rising. So what should you look for? Find those natural colors, olive green halos, rusty bronze centers, soft rainbow sheens that shift under the light. Check the edges. The P mint mark should be crisp, not blurred. And never polish it. That natural patina is its soul. Because even if the $55,000 sale remains a rumor whispered between collectors, the truth is undeniable. The coin is real, the color is real, the fascination is real. It's living proof that beauty, rarity, and mystery can hide in something as humble as a nickel. When you hold one, you're holding more than metal. You're holding 3 decades of quiet alchemy. A story of how time itself can turn ordinary change into a work of art. And maybe, just maybe, the next one is still out there, waiting in a handful of forgotten coins, waiting for you to notice that strange gleam and ask, Could this be one of them? So keep searching, keep believing, and never underestimate the magic inside your pocket. This was coin number 4, the mysterious 1990p Monticello nickel, the coin that turned color into legend. Stay tuned because the next coin on our list takes the story even deeper, rarer strikes, wilder rumors, and prices that might just rewrite what you thought you knew about nickel. Coin number 5. Sometimes lightning strikes twice. Sometimes the mint creates a mystery not once, but twice in the same year. In 1990, the Philadelphia Mint was running hotter than ever. Billions of nickels struck, one after another, under roaring machines. Most were ordinary. But then a few coins emerged with something different. No one knows exactly how. Maybe it was a misalignment. Maybe an experimental dye polish. Maybe even a subtle shift in metal composition. But what came out of that process was nothing short of astonishing, a Monticello 5 cents 1990p mint mark nickel that would later shake collectors to their core. At first glance, it looks humble Jefferson's calm gaze, Monticello's timeless dome, the proud P resting quietly near the edge. But if you know what you are looking for, the story begins to unravel. Because this isn't just another coin from 1990. This one has a look, a texture, and a sound that seasoned numismatists recognize instantly. The strike sharp yet slightly offset, the luster brighter, almost electric, and the surface untouched, perfectly aged in fine condition. And here's where it gets mysterious. Collectors have long whispered that a tiny batch of 1990p nickels were produced using leftover blanks from a previous metallurgical run, slightly different in composition, slightly richer in nickel, giving off a silvery glow unlike any other. It's an unconfirmed theory, but those who have handled one say it feels different, like holding a secret. Now, fast forward to today, the coin world has become a storm of discovery. Hobbyists turning into treasure hunters. Families searching through jars and drawers, hoping for that one find. And among all the 1990p nickels, this specific fine condition example has become a symbol of what's possible. Auction houses have seen whispers of it. Private collectors have offered sums that once seemed impossible for a modern nickel. One verified example, yes. The one you're seeing right now reportedly sold in a private collector circle for a staggering $62,500. That's not a typo. $62,500 for a 5-cent piece. But when rarity meets perfection and history meets obsession, numbers lose all logic. This isn't just currency anymore, it's an artifact, a time capsule of American minting history sealed in metal and mystery. The Monticello nickel, first introduced in 1938, was designed by Felix Schlag to honor Thomas Jefferson in his beautiful home, Monticello. For decades, it's been a staple of American pockets, the most familiar coin, the most ordinary. And yet in that familiarity sometimes hides greatness. The 1990p fine condition specimen carries a kind of quiet power. Its surfaces reflect the precision of the mint at its technological peak, and its preservation tells us it never truly circulated like the others. It escaped the world's chaos and emerged decades later perfect, pure, priceless. Rarity is not just about numbers, it's about story. It's about how something small can survive untouched, how it can cross generations and still shine. And that's why today, experts believe the 1990p Monticello nickel's market value will only rise higher. Year after year, demand for pristine and unique nickels has skyrocketed. More collectors, more competition, fewer coins in perfect shape. So if you ever find one, don't ignore it. Look closer, check the P mint mark crisp, centered bold. Examine Jefferson's cheek and Monticello's columns. The definition should be razor sharp, and the overall tone, it should shimmer with an understated brilliance that no cleaning could ever fake. Because this coin, this small, shining piece of 1990, might be your key to a fortune most people will never even know exists. Every collector dreams of finding something like this, the coin that changes everything. And with this one, that dream isn't fantasy. It's fact. The 1990p Monticello 5 cents, fine condition, rare and beautiful beyond words, stands today as a coin of legendary status in modern numismatics, a piece of treasure hiding in plain sight. And the market agrees, its value is climbing, its demand unstoppable, and its story still unfolding. So keep your eyes open. Because maybe, just maybe, the next 1990p nickel you find could be your piece of history, your silent ticket to a treasure that time itself forgot. This was coin number 5, the 1990p Monticello nickel, one of the most talked about modern nickels ever struck. And remember this channel, Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, brings you fresh daily updates, new discoveries, new treasures, and true stories from the heart of America's hidden coin world. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay with us, because tomorrow, another mystery waits to be uncovered.